From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Saturday, May 31st. I'm Max Darrow. Here's what we've got at the top of the rundown today. The heat is on, especially for inland parts of the Bay Area. Along with the risk of heat-related illnesses, the hot and dry conditions also mean an increased risk of wildfires today. We'll have more on our first alert weather forecast in just a moment. Health officials in Santa Clara and Alameda counties are warning the public about a potential measles case. They say a local may have been infected after traveling outside the country and then passing through a U.S. airport. That person is now isolating at home, but did recently visit several stores in San Jose, Newark, and Milpitas. It's not known how many people may have been exposed at this time. Finally, is NVIDIA coming to San Francisco? The world's second most valuable company after Microsoft is reportedly shopping for office space, and it is thanks to the city by the Bay's dramatic rebound. CEO Jensen Huang recently said San Francisco is thriving again, all because of the AI boom. Real estate firm CBRE estimates AI startups could cut the office vacancy rate in the city in half by 2030. A lot to follow there. All right, let's talk more about this heat today. Let's take a live look outside. Just kidding. We're going to just take a live look right here at Zoe Mintz.
And the Bay Bridge behind us.
Oh, yeah, there's the live look outside. What a beautiful start to the day today.
Gorgeous sunrise.
But it's going to be hot.
Another hot one out there, but along the coast, it's actually going to be a bit cooler than it was yesterday,
Okay.
and even inland, it's going to be a couple of degrees cooler. So not near 100, but still in the 90s. It's still hot out there, still a couple of degrees above average for this time of year before an even bigger cool down arrives into tomorrow. There's also a bit more of that marine layer and that fog that's hanging on tight, especially early this morning, closer to our coastal communities, and especially farther south. There's actually a dense fog advisory. Right now, temperatures are pretty mild, if not comfortable, upper 50s to low 60s across most of the Bay Area, low 50s in the North Bay where you're normally feeling those cooler temperatures. But either way, it is quiet and it is calm to kick off our morning. The biggest issue again is the cloud coverage that's pretty thick along our coastal communities, but it's not going to stay for much longer than the morning hours. By the afternoon, most of it will be backing off. And then later today, you notice that line of cloud coverage. That's actually a frontal boundary. And that cold front is going to continue to bring us cooler temperatures into tomorrow. So if you enjoy the warm weather, get out today. It's going to be really nice. I mean, really hot, I should say, across our inlandmost communities. Mid-90s, maybe even upper 90s. You're still going to be looking at near triple-digit high temperatures for places like Antioch. And then we'll be in the mid to lower 60s closer to our coast. It's those microclimates that are going to hold tight today, but I'll let you know how long they'll stick around for, as everybody is going to feel a cool down coming up in my full forecast. Back to you.
That Zoe will be in touch in just a few moments. Let's take a live look now at San Francisco City Hall, where Mayor Daniel Lurie says he is prepared to make some painful moves to tackle the city's budget crisis. He's laying out a plan to close a nearly $800 million deficit over the next 2 years. Lurie says his nearly $16 billion budget prioritizes public safety, cleaning the streets, and addressing the city's homeless crisis. The mayor said he tried to minimize the impact of job cuts, but said hard choices are going to be necessary to keep the city's recovery on track.
It's a painful time, and I understand any job loss is difficult. I take no joy in this, and yet I was elected to make hard choices, and that is demonstrated in today's budget.
The mayor's budget proposal calls for cutting about 1,400 jobs. The majority of them are currently vacant positions, but around 100 positions are currently filled, some by temporary employees or by people who are about to retire. City unions slammed the cuts and accused the mayor of prioritizing tax breaks for tech companies over public services.
When you cut jobs, you really are cutting public services. Those are things that residents and visitors all depend on.
The Board of Supervisors must approve the budget in time for Lurie to sign it by August 1st. Immigrant rights groups in San Francisco continue to sound the alarm after several ICE operations this week. They say plainclothed ICE agents are arresting asylum seekers outside of courtrooms, and that's spreading a lot of fear within immigrant communities. Dozens of people rallied outside of an immigration court in San Francisco after plainclothed ICE agents detained 4 people following their hearings this week. Activists and attorneys call it a threat to due process, saying immigrants who follow the rules now fear they will be arrested regardless. The Department of Homeland Security says it's simply enforcing the law, but attorneys say even immigrants with open cases are being taken into custody. Listen.
Again, after the ICE has been spotted in courts over multiple days, it's been spiking again. We've been receiving a lot of questions about specifically like what should I do about my court appointments, like what's going to happen next.
San Francisco's district attorney denies coordinating with ICE, says her office is still upholding the city's sanctuary policies. California's high school track and field championships are this weekend. However, people from all over the country are watching, with the spotlight not just on the finish line, but also on a transgender athlete at the center of a national debate. A.B. Hernandez from Jurupa Valley High in Riverside County took first place in all 3 of her events on Friday and heads into today's finals as a top contender. But protesters showed up in force on the ground and in the air, objecting to her inclusion. California's High School Sports Authority, the CIF, did let her compete, but also added athletes to events and even adjusted podium rules to help ease tensions. But supporters say she is still being singled out.
The fairness would be for them to compete either in their own division, this is my own opinion, or what they're doing. The solution they came up with, I think, is very good, that they are allowing her to compete, but then not displacing the other athletes, either at the Southern Section Championship or today, not displacing the athletes. So I think they came up with a good solution for a difficult, challenging problem that's not going to go away.
Today, Hernandez is chasing state titles in the high jump, long jump, and triple jump. All right, let's take a look at what's happening around the Bay today. A classic race makes its annual return to the Bay this weekend. It all starts with a leap into the frigid waters off of Alcatraz Island. The Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon is set for tomorrow. Around 2,000 people will jump off of a boat near Alcatraz, swim 1.5 miles to shore at San Francisco's Marina Green. Then they will bike 18 miles through the city's hills and finish the race with an 8-mile trail run, which does include the 400-step sand ladder at Baker Beach. Also happening in the city, the Union Street Festival hits Cow Hollow this weekend. It runs from 11 in the morning until 7 in the evening. Several blocks of traffic will be shut down for live music, dancing, shopping, and games. There's also a waiter relay race on tap as well, where servers will be racing up a hill, balancing trays full of drinks. Sounds like a lot of fun there. We'll have a live conversation with one of the festival organizers later in the show. Bottle Rock may have wrapped up last weekend, but the party is not over in Napa. La Onda 2025 takes over the expo this Saturday and Sunday with headliners like Marco Antonio Solis and Angela Aguilar. The festival spotlights a weekend full of Latino culture and community celebration. In the South Bay, tickets for this summer's Gilroy Garlic Festival go on sale today. This will mark the first festival since the 2019 mass shooting. The festival runs from July 25th to the 27th. It'll be at the Gilroy Gardens, which is a new location. The crowd will be much smaller than many people will remember, with just about 3,000 tickets available per day. Tickets will cost $35 each, and they go on sale today online at noon. Parking will be $25 per vehicle. Now to a troubling trend that's unfolding in the San Francisco Bay. 5 more dead gray whales were found this week, which brings this year's total to 14. Experts say some of the whales died from vessel strikes. However, it's unclear why others died, as the examinations were all inconclusive. 33 gray whale sightings so far this year, which is way up from last year. Researchers now are watching closely as the species prepares to head north on its migration route. Authorities are urging boaters to stay alert and to slow down to help protect these marine mammals. In the East Bay, the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory will become home to a powerful new supercomputer next year. According to the Department of Energy, the machine uses advanced AI chips to speed up research in chemistry, physics, biology, and more. It will deliver over 10 times the power of the current system. By merging AI with scientific computing, it opens doors to faster discoveries and breakthroughs, which all could lead to a leap forward in government technology and research. The time is 6:10 on this Saturday morning. After the break, wildfires continue to rage in Canada and send large plumes of smoke over our northern border. Tell you about the states being affected in the upper Midwest. And a crash in the Northwest releases millions of honeybees. What crews are doing to try to get them back into their hives.
Save the honeybees. But either way, it's a beautiful start to our morning. It is a gorgeous sunrise on top of Black Mountain. You can see a little bit of haze down in the Santa Clara Valley, but we aren't going to see much cloud coverage. A lot of sunshine and heat will build in. And once again today, I'll let you know how hot it's going to get when a cool down will finally arrive coming up in just a bit.
Smoke from major wildfires in Canada is pouring into the United States, which is leading to air quality issues and hazy skies all across the upper Midwest. Wildfires in Manitoba and Saskatchewan have already scorched more than 600,000 acres. The smoke plume stretches for more than 500,000 square miles, which is twice the size of Texas. Here's a look at the wildfire smoke from the NOAA's GOES-19 satellite. Much of it is drifting south, blanketing cities like Green Bay, Milwaukee, Chicago, and Detroit. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan all have issued air quality alerts. First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz joins us now. And obviously, Zoe, we're not dealing with anything like that here, but you've brought the map up on the floor to show us a little bit more. So why don't you
Just because we have this virtual technology, I think I can actually kind of give you a better view of where all of the smoke's coming from Canada up here. We're standing on it right now below our feet, and all of this wildfire smoke. Look at how thick and hazy and kind of gross it is. Yeah, that's all heading down towards them. But for us, we're actually looking, look at how gross the sky is over there. Bad air quality. But for us, it's really nice out there. For once, California is not dealing with the worst air quality, which is great news. You can see on the floor below me again, clear, quiet, calm conditions all across the state as high pressure continues to build overhead. You can kind of see the outline of this area of high pressure. It's creating a circle of cloudless skies across the West Coast. So we're not dealing with any of that wildfire smoke. Thank goodness, finally. Again, for once, we will take whatever we can get. Here in San Francisco, it's a quiet and calm start to our morning. We're looking at a little bit of that fog, especially close to our South Bay communities. And the farther south you go, the thicker it gets along the coast, which is actually why there's a dense fog advisory in effect right now, closer to those South Bay communities. Keep that in mind. It's going to stick around through the early morning hours, but by the late morning, all this fog will be quickly lifting and clearing before frontal boundary heads our way. Definitely brings us a cool down into tomorrow. So if you want to enjoy the heat this afternoon, you probably want to do it safely if you are spending time outdoors in our inland East Bay communities, because even though it might be a degree or two cooler than yesterday, San Jose was in the mid-90s yesterday, you'll be in the upper 80s today. Inland East Bay, places like Antioch, Concord, still going to be in those upper 90s. So it's still going to be dangerously hot for any outdoor activities. And it's the reason that we do still have heat advisories in effect. It's not nearly as widespread as what it was yesterday, but our Inland East Bay communities definitely have that highest risk for heat-related illness, while our coastal communities are going to be a degree or two cooler than what we felt yesterday. They'll be in the mid to lower 60s. San Francisco will be near 70 degrees. But again, it's still going to be well above average for this time of year. So I still highly suggest you get out and about today, especially closer to the coast, where it is going to be a lot more comfortable than further inland. By tomorrow, though, that's when cooler weather will arrive. Look at the colors in red that are no longer as deep or as dark. That just signifies those highs not nearly as warm. So by tomorrow, hey, San Jose, you'll be in the upper 70s versus upper 80s. So definitely about 10 degrees cooler for most of the Bay Area. Inland East Bay community is going to be in the mid to lower 80s. That's definitely a cool down compared to today. So it really kind of depends on what you like. But either way, a really gorgeous weekend of weather is ahead of us. Just today, heat safety is going to be top of mind. That would still suggest heading on over to the coast if you want to enjoy some more comfortable conditions, because we'll still be seeing plenty of sunshine, and you do still need to make sure you are aware of that. Put on sunscreen, even though in San Francisco it's only going to be in the upper 60s downtown. It's still sunny out there. It's still summertime, and even close to the beach at 62 degrees. It's still sunscreen weather. The UV index is still high, and you still want to make sure that you are safe and you don't get burned. By tomorrow, again, a big cool down on the way. Inland locations will be back down to below average and kind of stay that way into early next week. It really depends on where you're located, how big of a cool down you'll see. About 20 degrees cooler from today into tomorrow across our inland East Bay communities, but around the coast, it's only going to be a couple of degrees cooler from today into tomorrow, along with more cloud coverage and that onshore flow that's really going to pick up. So windy weather is on the way tomorrow. So make sure you are prepared for that and get out today if you do have any outdoor activities. Back to you.
Thank you for that update, Zoe. Now to a buzzing story out of Washington State. A semi-truck carrying an estimated 250 million honeybees overturned near the Canadian border, spilling around 70,000 pounds of hives onto the road. A big mess there. Emergency crews, local public works, and dozens of beekeepers rushed to the scene to recover the hives and gather the bees. The plan now is to allow the bees to return to their hives and to reunite with their queen over the next couple of days. But officials say this effort really is crucial to saving as many bees as possible, given their important role in pollinating crops.
We've had a number of the beekeepers, they've gotten stung as well as a couple of our deputies, but they're honeybees, so the sting isn't as severe as some other bees.
The cause of the crash is still under investigation. The road near the crash site does remain closed as cleanup continues. Coming up after the break, a watch party happening today on a Bay Area aircraft carrier to see the Champions League final in European soccer. Bay Area soccer fans, get ready. The Oakland Roots and the USS Hornet Museum are teaming up today for a Champions League final watch party aboard the historic aircraft carrier in Alameda. You can see Inter Milan take on Paris Saint-Germain live on a giant screen starting at noon. Want to check it out? Tickets are $25. Alrighty, 6:24 on this Saturday morning. Coming up after the break, President Trump travels to Pennsylvania to promote a new steelmaking arrangement that he says will protect American jobs. And a federal appeals court in San Francisco upholds a judge's recent order halting many of the mass layoffs that President Trump wants to see. Zoe.
Well, you see a little bit of that fog that's sticking around closer to our coastal communities, but it's not going to necessarily cool us down all too much. It's still going to be hot this afternoon, especially farther inland, but everybody's going to feel cool down and breezier conditions. I'll let you know when they'll arrive coming up in just a bit.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Welcome back. It is 6:29 on this Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Max Darrow. We've got a lot of weather to talk about today, which is why First Alert meteorologist Zoe Mintz is here. And Zoe, we've got the end of this heat up, but the thing that I am really not happy to hear about is the wind that's coming in.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I know, I've been sniffling and sneezing, my allergies. Ugh.
Well, honestly, the wind will help kind of push away all of the pollen that's been sitting and kind of stagnant because of the high pressure. I mean, it might push it in your eyes a little bit, but then it will push it away. So wind, it's going to cool us down by tomorrow. But today, you'll probably have more allergies because high pressure is going to continue to dominate. There is a bit of that onshore flow that you can see just in the form of cloud coverage by the time lapse. This is a beautiful view of the Golden Gate Bridge. That onshore flow is ushering in a bit more clouds, a bit more fog, but look at how quickly that fog is already beginning to dissipate, letting you know we are in for plenty of sunshine this afternoon. The sunshine is illuminating us here in San Francisco, and it's going to allow our temperatures to warm up once again to above average. Maybe not as warm as yesterday, but it is still going to be potentially dangerously hot in some of our more inland locations. The places that did see temperatures near the triple digits are going to once again see those high temperatures in the upper 90s to maybe near triple digits. It's going to be a bit cooler down in the Santa Clara Valley, but again, our inland East Bay communities, it's going to be hot out there. And even here in San Francisco, it's going to be upper 60s to potentially near 70 degrees. That's definitely a couple of degrees above average for this time of year. And I kind of just want to show a fun fact for everybody. We're looking at more above average days in San Francisco. Since 1970, we are now seeing about 28 days more per summer that temperatures are above average. So more above average days are likely in the years to come, but I'll let you know how many more days are going to be above average in the next week coming up in my full forecast. Back to you.
So a really interesting graphic there. President Trump spoke to a crowd of steelworkers on Friday about a plan that he says will preserve U.S. steel production and thousands of jobs. But some critics warn it could also raise prices on a key commodity. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
In front of a crowd of Pennsylvania steelworkers wearing hard hats, President Trump announced a hard hit to steel imports.
We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry.
Trump toured the U.S. steel facility in Pittsburgh after announcing he'll allow Japan's Nippon to invest and partially own the company. A $15 billion bid by Nippon was blocked by the Biden administration, but Trump says with this deal, U.S. Steel will still be under U.S. control.
I have no doubt that Nippon and Dave and everybody else, we're all working together, and I'm going to be in Washington. I'm going to be watching over it, and it's going to be great.
Earlier in the Oval Office, Trump bid farewell to Elon Musk.
Thank you, Elon.
Giving him a gold key for leading the administration's Department of Government Efficiency. Musk has spearheaded cuts of tens of thousands of government jobs. His own role as a special government employee limited by law to 130 days, though the president said he could continue unofficially.
Elon's really not leaving. He's going to be back and forth, I think. I have a feeling it's his baby.
So I look forward to continuing to be a friend and advisor to the president.
Musk says Doge has saved the federal government more than $160 billion, far short of the $2 trillion he initially predicted.
The president has a legal setback in his plan to shrink the federal workforce. A federal appeals court says Trump's mass layoffs will have to stay on hold for now. San Francisco-based judge first blocked the cuts, and late yesterday, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed. They warned the layoffs could disrupt key services like food safety and veterans health care. A lawsuit led by unions and cities, including San Francisco, argues Trump overstepped authority by acting without Congress. Tens of thousands of workers are already gone, but further cuts are paused while the case plays out. The FBI is investigating a new case of political impersonation targeting one of President Trump's top aides. Hackers allegedly impersonated Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, sending fake texts and even AI-generated calls to senators, governors, and business leaders. The messages did not come from her phone, but they did fool some recipients into thinking they were legitimate communications from the White House. The FBI says it does fit into a broader scheme using AI to mimic government officials. Investigators have not said how the hackers got into Wiles' contacts, but they are treating this breach seriously. Now to new developments in the Israel-Hamas conflict. President Trump says negotiators are very close to sealing a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. It calls for a 60-day truce with talks starting immediately, led by Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff. It also includes the release of 10 hostages and 18 bodies in exchange for more than 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. The U.S. says Trump will announce the deal if it happens, but no guarantee that it'll last beyond 60 days. Last night, the president was asked if he thinks Hamas will agree. Listen.
Confident that your proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza that was just submitted this week will get approved by Hamas?
I think they want to get out of that mess. They're in a big mess. I think they want to get out of it.
Hamas continues to review the offer, with the length of the talks apparently a key sticking point. This morning, we're remembering the Emmy-winning actress Loretta Swit, a central figure on the groundbreaking series MASH. Swit starred as Major Margaret Houlihan, the tough, trailblazing head nurse at a combat hospital during the Korean War. Her role began as comic relief, but eventually evolved into a powerful symbol of strength and dignity, thanks in part to Swit's own push for more depth and nuance. She appeared in all but 11 episodes of MASH's 11-year run and helped make its finale the most-watched scripted broadcast in TV history. Swit died yesterday at her home in New York. She was 87 years old. Coming up after the break, an annual festival is back this weekend in San Francisco's Cow Hollow neighborhood. Got a live conversation with one of the festival organizers coming up to tell you all about it. On the last day of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we'd like to introduce you to a Chinese American artist whose work is featured all across San Francisco. Mary Lee introduces us to the woman behind the city's iconic heart sculpture series, shares the inspiration for her work.
A lot of good memories.
Lori Chin is a second-generation Chinese American. Born and raised in San Francisco, her artwork reflects both her love for SF and her culture.
Being an Asian American in SF is definitely something you can be proud of, and you don't have to feel ashamed. And kind of your culture's everywhere.
Some of Lori's favorite memories are with her family in San Francisco's Chinatown. She even created a series of nostalgic designs featuring her favorite childhood Chinese snacks growing up.
Especially the Vitasoy. My grandpa used to take me and my brother to Chinatown, and we would always play at the playground, and for sure after he would take us to like one of those tiny little corner stores that is sadly no longer there, and he would go and let me and my brother both get a Vitasoy, and we would sit on like the stoop and wait for the bus together and just drink our Vitasoys.
It's not just Chinatown, but it's part of a city she calls home that means so much to her.
Everything about SF is just like special, at least to me, but maybe that's because I grew up here. But I love that it's just a place that a lot of people can just come and be themselves.
You could say Lurie left her heart in San Francisco, designing 2 sculptures for the Hearts in San Francisco Public Art Project.
This heart here in Union Square is probably one of my proudest moments. Just growing up in San Francisco, you always see the cool art downtown, and just like everyone knows the hearts that are down in Union Square.
Lori's entire family is proud of her, especially her dad, who couldn't be prouder.
I remember when Lurie had her beautiful heart displayed at Union Square. My wife and I would go there maybe every other week, and I would point out to people admiring the heart that my daughter painted that.
Lurie and her dad took me to her former high school, Lowell, so I could see her second Heart of San Francisco sculpture.
I haven't been back to Lowell probably since I graduated, and I know there's been like quite a few changes.
Walking back into her old high school, Lurie saw her heart sculpture celebrating diversity, proudly displayed in the main hallway.
What do you think when you're seeing this heart for the first time in years now?
I'm actually kind of surprised that it's in better condition than I thought. I thought for sure it would be maybe a little more messed up, but for the most part it's pretty intact, and it makes me happy to see it. Each hand has its own unique design, but I love when they overlap and when they intersect with each other and just show that everyone has a connection. And I just love those things, just like being able to celebrate everyone's differences, but also celebrate our similarities.
Honoring both her culture and her city, Lori's artwork celebrates the beauty of diversity and unity, serving as a heartfelt love letter to her community, aiming to bring joy to the people and places that have shaped her into who she is today.
It's a nice day.
Lori's Welcome Home Heart sculpture raised $50,000 for Zuckerberg General Hospital's ER.
Look at that beautiful shot of the Golden Gate. It was a lot foggier just about 20-30 minutes ago. The fog already beginning to lift, letting you know we are in for another warm day, especially across our inland East Bay. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get and how long this hot weather will stick around coming up in just a bit.
If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, San Francisco's Union Street Festival may be your answer. To find out more about what's in store today and tomorrow, we're now joined by one of the festival organizers, Angie Pettit, who is the CEO of Sunset Mercantile. Angie, thanks for being with us today. Oh, you're out there on Union Street right now. I recognize that corner. Union and Buchanan, if I had to guess.
Very good guess. That's exactly where we are.
So tell me about what we can expect today. It's going to be a beautiful day for the festival.
It looks like it is. Yeah, we're really, really excited. So happy that the weather is cooperating with us. It's going to be a wonderful day, 11 to 7 out here on Union Street. 2-day festival. It's such a great tradition. It's been going on for 47 years, and we're honored to carry the baton forward, working with the Union Street Merchants Association.
So with an event like this, if people were to head on down to Union Street today, are they going to come across food, shopping, entertainment? Tell me about what somebody is getting into today.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be over 200 vendors, local makers and merchants, not to mention all the amazing brick and mortars that are along the street doing just having their own little special celebrations within their businesses. We'll have four different spots for live music. We have a beautiful dance performance zone. live DJ. We'll have entertainment such as Chinese dancers and hula and the uke squad, and just some really unique just a lot of wonderful entertainment that highlights the diversity and just talent and creativity of this city. So we're really excited. Lots of family fun, all sorts of activities on every block. Wonderful seating, local beers, all local beers this time. Yeah, we're really excited. There'll be something for everybody out here today.
So what are you looking at right now? I can see you with Union in the background, but on the other side, if you were to flip that camera around, would we see people setting up right now?
Oh, yes, you
Give
sure
us a
do.
look.
We've
Let's
got
take
the
a
whole
look.
crew out here. We're setting up our tables. Vendors are setting up. We have picnic tables coming out. Yeah, everyone's busy, busy, busy right now, and we'll be really busy until 11 a.m.
Well, that's what we like to see. We love events like this in San Francisco. It's really awesome to see the influx of people and just so many things happening in the city. Talk about, if you can, the impact for the local businesses and all these small business owners that call the Cow Hollow area and beyond home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it is. This particular tradition of the Union Street Festival has been carried forth by the Union Street Merchants Association, and so the brick and mortars here are very invested in this event as it brings a lot of people to the neighborhood, and it creates a celebration for the neighborhood, for the community. So I think the merchants are all very excited. There are so many people doing wonderful sales and specials and celebrations within their restaurants. We're also continuing the tradition of the waiters race, which will be happening at noon tomorrow, and that's a really fun one where Neon, a local business, has taken it on to organize for this year, and it's a collaboration with this whole event is such a collaboration of all the businesses, everybody doing their part, and to celebrate the community and as well as to help support the brick and mortars that are here.
Looking forward to it all. Angie Pettit, CEO of Sunset Mercantile, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And if you missed all the magic of last weekend's Carnival Parade, by the way, we've got good news for you. We'll have an encore presentation tonight from 8 to 10 o'clock on our sister station, Pix Plus. We've got more highlights on kpix.com. Zoe Mintz joins us now live on this Saturday morning, and what a great day for that Union Street Festival. I think I know what I will be doing later today.
I think I might also be joining you with that because
Maybe
it sounds
you'll
like a
see
beautiful
Zoe and I
day.
at the Union Street Festival then.
It's going to be so nice out there. The winds are going to be calm. Temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees above average.
Okay.
Sunny skies. What more could you want on a Saturday?
Just what we want
honestly.
heading into summer in San Francisco.
Yeah, but if you live farther inland, you might want to come to San Francisco because it's going to be a lot nicer here than it is going to be farther inland, as we are continuing to see high pressure dominating. High pressure is basically just the lack of cloud coverage that you see on our satellite and radar, and it's going to continue to bring us little to no cloud coverage throughout this afternoon. Although, if we take a closer look here in San Francisco, you might notice a little bit more of that fog and that marine layer that is really thick, especially closer to our South Bay communities, where there's actually a dense fog advisory closer to Monterey. So keep that in mind if you're heading south. And we're going to continue to see a lot of that cloud coverage dissipating throughout the next couple of hours. By the afternoon, like I said, plenty of sunshine all across the bay, but you will be noticing upper level cloud coverage. And that is just letting you know a cold front is on the way. That cold front is going to bring a big cool down by the time that we step out tomorrow, especially for our inland area. It's going to be about 20 degrees cooler than what we're feeling today, because today it's going to be another hot one. Although it kind of depends on where you are. South Bay communities like San Jose, you're no longer going to be in the mid to upper 90s. You're going to be in the upper 80s in San Jose. Still hot, but not as hot. Well, inland East Bay communities are still going to be sitting in the mid to upper 90s. Maybe not reaching that triple digit mark, but it's very hot and dangerous to spend extended periods of time outdoors with these kind of temperatures. So do please keep that in mind. And it's the reason that we do still have that heat advisory in effect for our inland East Bay communities. It's not nearly as widespread or extreme as what it was yesterday, but it is still something that you should keep an eye out for and pretty safe about it. If you head on over to our coastal communities, that's where you can escape the heat with mid to lower 60s, as the onshore winds will pick up a little bit today, but it's not until tomorrow that we're really going to begin to see the cooler weather arriving. And you can kind of see a little bit of those cooler temperatures overnight, and you notice those deeper and darker reds building in. Again, that signifies those temperatures not nearly as warm. We'll only be in the mid to upper 70s tomorrow compared to mid to upper 80s in the Santa Clara Valley, low 80s across our inland East Bay communities. It's still warm, but not hot and not dangerous tomorrow, inland at least. Coastal communities, this is where the upper 50s are going to return, and the onshore winds are definitely going to create some issues tomorrow afternoon for any outdoor plans closer to the coast. So keep that in mind. If you live closer to our coastal communities, today is definitely the better day to get out and about, to soak up that sunshine and to enjoy the high pressure, because again, just 24 hours from now, looking at 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts returning, and again coming in from that onshore direction, definitely ushering in a big cool down as an area of low pressure will be moving overhead. It's not going to bring us any chances for rain. The biggest impact are the winds and the cooler temperatures that are going to stick around likely into the early to middle parts of the upcoming week. So those of you who love the heat and enjoy this feeling of summer, today, again, last day before those cooler and cloudier conditions arrive tomorrow. The clouds won't stick around into early next week, but we'll stay in the upper 70s. So yes, it's not going to stay hot forever. We'll be a lot more seasonable, if not below average by next week. So all things to keep in mind, with little to no chances for any sort of rain. So put the umbrella away, but keep the sunglasses and the sunscreen handy. Back to you.
Hey, no matter where you are in the Bay Area, it costs a lot to live here. Finding a roof over your head that's affordable isn't always easy to do. But one company is trying to change that with its own sort of matchmaking service. Lorena Ayub explains how Spare Room works.
You may have heard of speed dating. Well, welcome to the era of speed roommating. Put on by roommate finding service Spare Room, the new gatherings are helping roommate seekers like Priyanka Shetty find an ideal housemate.
I've been here in the Bay Area for 5 years now, and I'm looking to move to the city. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to find a roommate here. The rent's like obnoxious to live alone.
Priyanka is not alone. According to Spare Room, at around $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom in San Francisco, more people are looking to share rent. But instead of blindly living with strangers, the gatherings help people find safe and compatible roommates.
Priority should be your safety and mental sanity, right? That is very important. And if that can be conducive with other people, yeah, why not?
With attendees notating their budgets and preferred neighborhoods, Rupert Hunt, the CEO of Spare Room, says these gatherings not only help people save time and money, but also might save you from some unnecessary roommate trauma.
The trouble is occasionally you maybe spend an hour or two going to a viewing, but then you might know within moments that you wouldn't get on with the person that you're going to live with. So this is just a more immediate version of Spare Room where you meet the people you're going to live with. And, you know, it's the people that are going to make or break the experience, not the size of the room or the power of the shower.
Participants display their shared interests while finding someone to share their bills with, too.
If you could save $1,000 by splitting it with somebody and have a decent living situation, why not? It's a win-win, right?
Because in the Bay Area, the real love story might just be about finding that perfect roommate.
Well, we're looking at another hot day across the bay. If you have any outdoor activities inland, you might want to head to the coast because that's where it's going to be a lot more comfortable. We'll still be in the mid to lower 90s, kind of just depending on where you're located. But by tomorrow, about a 20-degree cool down with 70s returning. And 70s are going to stick around at least into mid next week. So all things to keep our eyes on as we step out. But overall, no chances for rain. So you can put that umbrella away. It's the time of year where it's the dry season. Fire danger is definitely top of mind. Luckily right now, though, it's not the biggest threat, but we're going to continue to kind of watch that as things continue to dry out.
Sure, always something to keep in mind here year-round at this point
in
the Bay Area. Finally this morning, check this out. There is a huge line of people. There was. You can see it there along the Pacific Coast Highway in Southern California. They're waiting on Friday to get inside rock and roll legend Tom Petty's former house for an estate sale that included everything except his memorabilia. Fans could take home rugs, lamps, glassware, basically anything you could really think of, but many fans weren't there to buy anything. They just wanted to get a glimpse of what Petty's life was once like. Organizers even put out a statement saying snooping is welcome. Look.
And what did you get?
Well, I'm not a big spender, so I got a colander, big deal. But I can say I got this from Tom Petty's Kitchen.
That's pretty cool.
Nothing like a colander from Tom Petty's Kitchen. The 3-day sale lasts through tomorrow. 25 shoppers are allowed in at a time. Zoe, if you could take one thing from Tom Petty's house, what would you take?
I kind of feel like I want the calendar now that she asked it. I kind of want it. I mean, who wouldn't want just something from Tom? I don't know, guitar. I mean, that would be the coolest thing.
I think I would take a spatula. You know,
a spatula.
You could slap the guitar strings. Maybe he did it. You never know.
You never know. I mean, anything that Tom Petty has touched, it's got to be worth a little bit more. I kind of just would like to walk through his home, feel what he was feeling, walk through where he walked through, you know?
Yeah, I do wonder if he's got guardrails over the stairs, though, because otherwise you might go free falling.
I was going to make that joke, and I'm so mad you took it away from me right now. Okay, well, now you stole it from me, but yeah, hopefully you won't be free falling anytime soon, or no one else will.
For that colander, though, maybe.
Maybe.
You'll fall head over heels for the colander.
Yeah.
All right, coming up in our Saturday showcase at 7 o'clock in the morning, prison reform advocates say more alone time could come with benefits. The push to change how inmates live in San Quentin. Plus, an innovative program teaching both skills to become a barber and to run your own shop. We'll meet a high school senior who just went through it. Coming up in our Saturday showcase.